Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. A really nice day here in South Florida. You can see the blue skies on your screen. If you are watching us live or even on the Simulcast Network, fast main track, firm turf course, the all-weather Tapeta this afternoon, and lots of races and lots of good races and a couple of stakes.
It's all going on here today, and the biggest probably news, I do have two really good stakes today. The Florida Breds and the big drama is looking really forward to that, but $600,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee Rainbow Six. It's we reached $500,000 yesterday, and it's only going up. Get involved.
Yeah, so that starts in race number 7 this afternoon, and as Brian mentioned, $600,000. But with this 12-race card, we have an early pick 5, of course, a late pick 5, but 3 pick 4s. The ultra popular middle pick 4 will be, I believe it's race 5 when that kicks in. So don't worry, Pete Aiello will straighten you out with all that stuff you need to know. First race is going to be on the turf. You always like that. It's a mile on the grass for maiden optional claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $40,000. Did have one scratch in here of the number 11 tax code, but we got a full field of 10 to kick off the early pick 5. And, of course, Brian put a ticket together.
$45. We worked at a couple scratches in the sequence, and like Ronnie said, listen to Pete. He'll give them to you. We'll get to this race in a second. Number 5, Cobra Ma in race 2. The order in race 3 is 42. Classy, of course, my long shot play of the day. In race number 4, rest of the story is the single. And then we go 5 deep to get out on the Tapeta in race 5. And as you mentioned, Ronnie, that kicks off that ever-popular middle pick 4. Royal War on top of that one for me, Miguel Vasquez.
$45. Rest of the story is singled on that ticket. Good sequence in here. First race, as I mentioned, a mile on the grass. I did go, Brian, with the number 6 horse, and I'll kick it off with Stat, who's turning back to the mile. Going to wear blinkers this afternoon after setting the pace, yielding late to finish second as the favorite. That was going a mile in the 16th on the grass for Saffie Joseph Jr., and you get the apprentice Elsa Morrison handling that turn back in distance.
Yeah, she's done some good work with Saffie. They've paired together. They had a couple winners last week, and, you know, the only worry I had about Stat was you've got Awesome Crusader to his inside, who's probably going to show speed on the stretch out. Do they get involved in a little bit of a duel? I think Stat's not going to have an easy go of it like he did last time. With that being said, I definitely used him because that maiden special weight he comes out of, that effort that he ran is definitely the defining one in here.
And what about this number 5, Sterling Harmony? This is from Steve Dwoskin's barn. Ran okay, going 5 furlongs last time out for its debut.
Yeah, you put Miguel Vasquez back on here. They're over 20% together. They stretch out here. You know, maybe that was the tightener for this route. As you mentioned, the sprinting 5 last time by Orb out of a Milwaukee Brew mare. So certainly the 2 turns is in this pedigree, and I would think this one's going to be close throughout on the stretch out. Maybe get a little value in here early in the betting, 8-1 as I take a peek at the board.
Number 4, Awesome Crusaders, you mentioned, stretching out around 2 turns after back-to-back second-place finishes, going 5 on the grass. So I looked up Ralph Nix with Sprinter Route, maidens on the turf. This is sort of a cautionary stat. He's only 3 for 46, 7%, 37% in the money, 47 cents is the return of investment. Not one of the moves that you see this barn traditionally make. So big sampling size, so you take that into consideration. Just quickly, number 7, Space Runner, cutting back to 8 furlongs, close to be third. If that speed that we see in here, gets going, maybe this horse can close and grab a share. So wide open to fade. You can just see by our selections up there on the board. Very early in the wagering, the 6 is the 9-5 favorite. Sort of expected that with Saffie Joseph Jr. Race 2, mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. These are claimers 4 and up, $10,000. Scratch the 3, scratch the number 6 horse in here. You mentioned that you had Cobra Mas on top of your ticket.
Well, I scratch into him because I did have number 6, Mr. Leonardo, on top, but certainly Cobra Ma, Carlos David's been winning races of late. We've got Vasquez here as well. Not a lot of speed, but I think this will probably be a pretty tight-knit group here with just a field of 6 now signed on. Hopefully somebody goes early with the 1 Go Mike, but I just think the overall form in the class drop is going to play today.
Yeah, I saw a little more speed, and those 2 horses that I mentioned at a scratch 3 and 6 had no speed.
Right.
So we didn't lose any of the actual pace scenario in here. Go Mike is dropping to this level, open and surrendered that early 3.5 length lead when finishing 4th against 20 claimants. That was going a mile 70 on the all-weather, and then I threw in after the scratch in here because I also had Mr. Leonardo on my ticket and bumped up till the end back on the Tapeta for the D'Angelo's. victory on the turf last time out. Luca Panici won the last night.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll be too far off of it early. 10-year-old son of Cantharo still firing. Pretty cool.
That's really nice. Not 10 years old. Race 3 this afternoon, going back on the grass. It's a mile on the turf. Claimers, Phillies advance, 4 and up. $12,500. Scratch the 5. Map them up. And this is your long shot in here, classy,
yes,
of course.
Long shot. Looking for the hat trick on the long shot. Back-to-back days, Thursday and Friday. We'll try to do it again here. Monica McGoey with Classy, of course. You look at that turf race at Tampa. 2 back. I thought it was a pretty decent effort, better than it looks. We get some weight here with Elsa Morrison riding, and that was a handicap at Tampa. Now we drop in for 12.5. Going to need some speed, and I think there's enough in here to set Classy, of course, up at what should be a very, very square price.
I did go with the number 3, Senseless Drama, who's dropping to the 12.5 level, set the pace, faded to finish 5th. That was against 16 starter allowance runners going a mile on the turf. I think she'd be able to flaunt her speed in this spot against this caliber of competition for Carlos David, Samuel Camacho Jr. in the saddle today. It was a speed play for me. I just thought this horse would just be on the engine and maybe not look back. Seen speed. We saw a race yesterday. He opened the gate, and it was over. So there's a chance that this horse can go wire to wire. If not, the horse you have in second, I have Serenade Kitten. Looks like she can pick up the pieces if Senseless Drama, at least in my estimation, fails to negotiate the distance.
Yeah, I mean, Senseless Drama is definitely the speed of the speed. The question is, does anybody go with her? Serenade Kitten's going to trip out nicely for Rohan Crichton, and we know how good he's been. It's been months now, basically.
Yeah, he's been having a great winter, spring, fall, isn't it?
Winter, spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah, you don't remember that Howdy Doody show, do you? From the
No, I do not.
The princess on there was named Princess Spring, Summer, Fall. I'm dating myself.
Wow.
That's for another day. 6 furlongs is race number 4. Allowance optional claim of Phillies and Mares 3 and up. The optional tag is $25,000. 6 in the field. Rest of the story, one of your singles. Take it away.
Yeah, I just like this outside post here for Ralph Nix. Brings her back, daughter of Jess's Dream, in a spot. She's not in for a tag, so we don't really have to worry about the layoff. Eddie's been going so good all of 2022. Jaramillo's here. We've got the right outside attack post with some speed to the inside. I just kind of think, Ron, she's better than this field.
Yeah, and she's been working well. She's stakes place, daughter of Jess's Dream. She's working well for the return for Eddie Plesa Jr., so rest of the story, a major player in there. I totally agree with that. I did go with the 5 in second. Have you a little further down? It's Great Adventure, stepping up to face winners. Responded to the turn back with a front-running maiden special weight score at the distance for Ken Sweezy. Miguel Vasquez returning on the lightly raced order of Candy Ride.
Yeah, you're going to get some value here, too. And she comes up, she steps up and faces winners, so she's got to handle that rise. But, she finally broke through last time, and she did it impressively. She's got a lot of speed, too. She's probably going to be pressing, frankly, my dear, and will get first run off rest of the story into the far turn. So, you're going to get square price underneath in that exacta.
And what about the horse you have in second? I have in third, Flying Althea, who's coming back to 6, returned from the layoff and chased the pace last time out.
Yeah, I mean, Beth's Dream was streaking. You know how good she is, and Cafe Society was really good in the comeback for Shug. 2 back during the championship meet, and I just thought maybe she can settle a little bit and get first run on the speed.
Cam Gambelotti going to have Chantal Sutherland handling that turn back in distance. Race number 5 this afternoon is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Claimers 3-year-olds are 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life. Scratch the 2, scratch the 5 in here. Personal Meadow. And I did. Let's go with your horse in here. Royal War, the number 4.
Easily could have been another long shot play for me. We go off the claim here, and I just thought, Ronnie, I know the 2 and the 5 scratching out takes some speed out of this race. There's no doubt about that. I thought it was wide open. I wanted to look for a price, and I thought Royal War's got some decent races. Stepped up last time. Wasn't that bad when 5th against Facing Better on the rise from the 2L win. Goes off the claim for Jenna Antonucci, and I just thought maybe from off the pace a little bit, we'll try to upset this one. That middle pick 4 here, too, by the way.
Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. I did go with the 3 horse in here. We're not together at all today. Zamfir moves to the Jose Pinchinbon after the claim, turns back slightly, set a pressured pace, finished second as the favorite, going 5.5 on the all-weather surface. MSCL Jaramillo rides. I thought this one might be the logical choice in here.
The old reclaim, too, which is a positive angle. And quietly, Jose Pinchin's had a pretty good Royal Palm meet as well. You look at that 7 for 17 in the exacta, 3 wins as well. So, yeah, I can see where you're going here.
The number 9 Skybridge is stepping up to the next level after drawing clear to defeat those 2 lifetime claimers, going 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface for Red Hot trainer Rowan Crichton. Want to show you a stat. These are winner last out sprints. Now, this is not all to Peter. It's all encompassed. And he's 13 for 38, 34%, 68% of money. But the key here, this is just over the past year.
Yeah, and I think that's when the game has really been upped a little bit. And he's, in the 30% with a lot of different things. And this one, 34, even better. So, you definitely have to give Sky Bridge a long, long look. Rises in class from the 2L, so we'll have to answer that bell.
And a horse getting some class relief this afternoon is the horse you have in second, and I have in fourth. That's Military Drill for Samantha Dobley.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Drops in class, has run competitive races that would fit with this kind of group, and now I think gets in a little easier, too.
And just quickly, the number 7B by the Siege. I had a trouble, but game second at this level, 2 starts back. I was enamored with that stuff. Performance drops. Showed some late interest against state-bred runners going 5.5 for Mark Paisley. Edgar Perez named to ride. Key off that race, 2 starts back. I'm sure that's what you did too. And this horse figures to be somewhere on the try or super.
Well, you said it perfectly. 2 for 31, 12 seconds and 4/3. There's a reason we have this one in third.
Exactly. Race number 6 is our first of 2 stakes races on the card today. This one an overnight handicap. 5 furlongs on the turf. 3-year-olds and up, $60,000. It is the Sunny Isles. And I know we were talking before we went on the air. I saw a lot of speed in here. I know you did. And this is your best bet and my best bet. And that is the Virginian.
Yeah, I post my picks early. I know you get on the website and look at them there. But we're going to show a replay here. It's our first one. We lost one earlier. So let's take a look at it. And here's Warrior's Pride just absolutely speed popping the field under Chantel. And he's going to try to do it again today. But there's going to be other horses within the 5-length gap here that the Virginian and Belgrano were trying to make up, because he might be the speed of the speed today. There's other heat in here, and I think here's the Virginian, number 3, okay? Move it into your picture now. He was just left with too much to do on a horse that absolutely freaked, and I just think the flow of this race today, Ronnie, and I think you agree with me, is going to be a lot different.
Yeah, I think there's much more speed in here, and that's why I did go with the Virginia, the closing second, and back-to-back races. I just think he needs the trip, and he's going to get the trip this afternoon. Warrior's Pride, you just saw up there, goes for 2 in a row. You saw that 4-length lead, held on to win it by a length for Antonio Chiaffi with Chantel. I thought that maybe number 7, My Tai, went on, stepping up to after showing speed at those 30 condition claimers. 7-time winner at the distance. I thought maybe this horse, if he gets loose or can get a nice trip for Mike Maker, he can get 2 in a row.
I agree, and he's going to be pressing Warrior's Pride. He's one of those horses that is going to help out the Virginian in here, and he did well to draw outside Warrior's Pride. We got Maker, as you mentioned, the pink and yellow of Mike Dubb here. So I do agree with you that he's dangerous in here. I just find it hard to believe that if it's not Warrior's Pride, someone else is going to survive this early tussle that really is shaping up to be pretty seismic.
And Tiz Romantic's going to be definitely involved early in that race.
Another one, Tiz Romantic. You look down inside, tape. The tape's not letting anybody get free up front either, so there's a lot of hitting. I think maybe Tiz Romantic has maybe a hint of a rating gear. That might help him a little bit.
Well, my selections are up each and every Thursday. He pit his, I think, 43 minutes ago, just before we came on the air. So just so you're aware of that, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket with $600,000 gross jackpot guarantee. We'll be right back.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round by Hurd inside. Race.
Master horse racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron and Brian. 7th race, 6.5 furlongs for fillies. 3-year-olds of 4 and up, nominators of 2, 12-5 down to 10, 9 in the field, no scratches. More importantly, this is where the Rainbow Six action is going to start. I'll show you my ticket, 43.20 in here. Just too deep in here. We'll talk about that race in a minute. I like the one in next race. That's Benelux, first off the claim by Liz Dobles. But I got some coverage in there in that particular race. Race number 9 today. Just too deep. Starlight Walker going to be the big favorite in there, but I used the number 1 horse to be on the ticket. Also along for Saber. My long shot today comes in race number 7, Latano, going to the Jerry O'Dwyer barn. I thought this horse has a lot of back class. Everybody's going to be betting the 4 horse in their SIF, so I thought maybe I'd get a price. And then in the big drama, boy, this is such a great race. I'm going with Cajun's Magic today. I just thought this horse would have a shot. I used some other horses in there because it's hard to leave King Cab off or Willie Boy. And then last, just too deep, I like Sweet Low and Legal Star. And for me, it's $43.20.
I've heard that before, and I am with you in the feature big drama as well. Boy, a lot of speed in that race.
Yeah, a lot of speed. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in that great betting race today. This race getting back 6.5 furlongs. Claim is fillies 3 and up, or 4 and up, I should say. Non-winners of 2. And I did, and so did you, go with number 3, Starship Nugget, who took a long time to get its first win.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's take a look at the replay, too, because what Ronnie said, the win was 2 back. Okay, she comes right back against winners. Here she is out the back a little bit. The finishing order, okay, 4-2-8. So the 2 horses in front don't stop. And so she's, this is not ideal for her. Facing winners for the first time, she's wide and outside. And again, it comes in 4-2-8. The 4's loose, maybe Lucky and Wild, and she was good. But the flow just didn't help Starship Nugget at all. I think it's better for her today. I thought all things considered, Ronnie, after you take 12 starts to break your maiden, now you're going up and facing winners for the first time. I thought this was a pretty good effort. You're going to see her sweeping here on the outside. Again, she's a number 8 horse. Good job, Bob. Thank you. And I just feel like this was a good sign of what's to come today, now that she's got it under her belt, facing winners now for the second time with more speed.
Yeah, and this is the usually fruitful third start of the current form cycle. Came off the bench and took a while, broke its maiden, comes back and runs okay, as you can see right there. And the horse that's in front of her right now is the horse that I put in second, and that's Rubisa, who's going to try and find just a little more firepower. You could see that replay for the stretch drive after stalking the pace, finishing second in front of Starship Nugget last time out. She stretches out to 6.5 with Marco Meneses at the controls.
Yeah, my worry with her, and the reason I put her in second as well, is I don't really know where that race came from last time. You look at her form, and, regardless of what kind of figures you like to use, that last race was just way above anything she's ever done. So, to me, I'm not sure she's moving forward. To me, I think she's coming back a little bit.
The race I used, the other horse I used, I should say, on my Rainbow Six was the 5. That's a Fancy Fox, who's changing barns, going to the Oscar Gonzalez barn after the claim, chased the pace, finished a distant third against Simla, going 3/4 of a mile with Edgar Perez. Sort of been watching Oscar Gonzalez. He hasn't started many horses, but his horses seem to be running well.
Outrunning their odds, too.
Yeah.
You see the 3/3 in there, and at good numbers, too. So I agree if you're looking for a try kicker at a price.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. This is where our late pick 5, is going to start. It's about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Claim is 4 and up. $16,000. Did have a couple of scratches in here of the 9 and 13. Still got a field of 11. Late pick 5. Let's see your ticket.
Yeah, the dart landed on Officer Country in here. 5. What I got 6 deep. I have zero opinion in this race. We'll get to it in a second. The single is Starlight Walker in race 9 at a short price, because you're going to need to get value around him because he's going to be a short. He is going to be a short number. In race 10, the top pick is number 3, Granger County. In race 11, another 3 deep in there, and I already alluded to it. Cajun's Magic for me, and I know you like that one as well. And then in race 12, top pick is the 4, Swing Low. Boy, we're making some good TV late here, I think.
Yeah, we got a lot of selections but I split Big Heart is the other horse you used in 12, but I split it with Legal Star, but just used 2 in that race. Getting back to the 8th race, I'll tell you why I do like the number 1 in here, Benelux, who beat similar quality on the turf. Now, that was 2 starts back. Moves to the Elizabeth Doble's barn after the claim. broke slowly from the rail, really never got untracked against those 16 claimers going a mile last time out. But I found a stat on Elizabeth Dobles first after the claim. Now he narrowed it down to just on the turf. She's 8 for 39, 21%. 44% in the money and a positive return of investment of $2.30. She's usually around 31% with claims, but so I wanted to see what she did on the turf, and that's where I'm going. And you got the apprentice. No, that's not the apprentice. You got Ian Bito in the saddle. That he's not the apprentice.
You don't see him on my screen, but I have him in 5th, and I did use him in the late pick 5. It's a tough race. I just didn't really know what happened last time. I didn't see a lot of trouble. I know it was a race where you needed to be up close early, and that's not what you get from Benelux. But you're right. This barn off the claim is just really, really prolific. And if Benelux can get back to the races when Chris Davis had him and he did such a good job with this horse, yeah, he's going to be tough in here.
The horse that you do have on top is the 4-Officer Country, who's first off the claim by Dan Peter. Dan jumping in and grabbing a lot of horses lately. And this one comes off that race where it just beat a half length by till the end.
Yeah, I've got a country and a county on top today, so we'll work with them. But yeah, quietly, Danny Peters, he's 2 for 16 off the claim. It's not a high percentage barn, but he does pretty well in this avenue. And there's some tactical speed to work with here, and that's why I liked Officer Country. Again, we've got a big full field on the turf. Sometimes we're going to talk about Vittori Kin in a second. He's got to pass them all. Easier said than done.
Yeah, another horse, we'll go with Vittoria Kin, the Brazilian bred, cutting back to this distance and going to wear blinkers today after rallying late to finish 4th against Simla, going 9. And that was last out, and then the 3rd going a mile, 2 starts back. The equipment change might be the key for this horse. Might see this one closer to the pace. You know what?
I guess that's it, because otherwise, how's he getting up going 7.5?
Right.
It's just way too sharp for him. He always runs. He never gets there, but you're right. We've got the D'Angelo's putting the blinkers on. It's a pretty key equipment change. If this sharpens him up, tightens him up a little bit early on, maybe that's the difference. But boy, he just always leaves himself with so much to do.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the number 7 Boro, a solid second at this distance, 2 starts back. Because it's Peter Walder with leading rider Miguel Vasquez. What's Peter? He's winning at 30-something%.
Yep.
And this one didn't run bad on the grass.
Not at all. That was a good race at Lavery. Won last time, and Jamontier comes right back to win, too. He's coming out of the right race.
Race number 9, 6 1/2 furlongs. Claim is 3 or 4 and up. Now I'm winners of 2 races in life, 35 down to 25. And we both have some interest in the number 2, Starlight Walker. And if I remember correctly, this is your single on your late pick 5.
It is. And I'll be up front and say I didn't want to pick this horse. The drop is weird to me. He runs so good for a quarter last time in a starter. And now he's in for 35 where he can be claimed out of a spot he wasn't in for a claim last time. But I just couldn't find anybody else. He just looks too good for these, and he looks too fast for these.
Yeah, David Fork says MSCL Jaramillo rationing this horse's speed this afternoon. You mentioned the different races that this horse ran in. It just looks like a good spot, and maybe that's where they wanted to run it to fill and get a race into the horse. And then I went to the inside horse in here, Mitiko, who's getting some class relief. He stalked the pace, finished 3rd. That was a pair of 35 starter optional claimers contested at 6 and 8 furlongs respectively. I think the 6.5 furlong distance can get this sophomore out of 3rd gear, maybe. I think that in-between distance might be the key.
Yeah, and if for whatever reason Starlight Walker gives it up, Mitiko is the one that's going to be closest to take over. So I agree. He's a threat in here.
And what about the number 4, Proud Contender?
Well, I just wanted to someone from off the pace. Maybe Starlight Walker's so good that he fries everybody else that's going to be involved early, and Proud Contender doing what he does because that's what he likes to do, run 2nd and 3rd, 1 for 16 with 9 of them underneath.
Let's go to race number 10 this afternoon, and this one is 5 furlongs on the turf, and allowance optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. The optional claiming price of $25,000. As I mentioned, my long shot today, 6-1 on the morning line, and I'll tell you why. Now in the Jerry O'Dwyer barn, listed as a gelding today. He makes his first start since following back-to-back turf victories here during the 2021 championship meet. Comes back, runs a good second against 40 optional claimers, going 5.5 furlongs at Colonial. Now, this was last August, but the horse for course play, trying to rekindle that, is working well up at Palmetto's on the turf, looking for a price. As I mentioned when I was talking about Rainbow Six ticket, Saif is going to take all the money in here.
And I don't want to speak for you, but you didn't want to pick Saif either,
No.
right? I just not me. So I agree. So we're both. I'm not thinking way outside the box. You are a little bit.
Right.
This horse has got good form, though. If Jerry can get him back to those races, first time gelding is a solid angle. He certainly looks like he's working well. If Jerry can get him back, and it's a small sample. He's 2 for 9 off this elongated layoff. So and he gets Edwin Gonzalez. So there's reason to think this horse is here to run today.
The number 3 Granger County, who was a solid late running second on the turf here back in April, returns to the grass, rallied to finish third as the favorite against those state bet allowance runners, going 5.5 on the Tapita. Bobby DeBona, good win. When was that? Yesterday, I believe he had a nice win. Edgar Perez looking to sit the trip behind the speed.
Yeah, I mean, that race was a big one, 2 back, and he didn't really fire on the Tapita last time. He ran a 7 2 back, and that's actually better than what Saif has been doing. So, again, I didn't want to pick the favorite, who, we've got to talk about him now. Boy, he's tough to trust.
He's making his first start. I'm talking about the 4th Saif. First start since reeling off 3 consecutive sprint victories. 2 of those were on the Tapita. 1 was on the turf for Mike Maker. He's a winner of 4 6 races on the Gulfstream turf. Strictly the one to beat, but he's been tried to be claimed in a couple of races, and the claims avoided. There's just too much there. So, I'm using this one on my ticket. Don't get me wrong. But I thought I'd back off and try and get a price.
Yes, and yes. Where you been? Voided claim twice. Now he's back for a quarter off a March 9th layoff. I'll be up front and say I've tried to beat this horse every time, and he's done nothing but make me look like a fool every time, and he might do it again today. But, boy, at a short price, Ronnie said it, he's going to be bet off the board today. Boy, just tread lightly.
The race number 7, it's a nice race. 7 furlongs. These are state bred, 3-year-olds and upward. It is the $65,000, the big drama here. Lots of speed, lots of different ways to go. We both landed on the number 9, Cajun's Magic, who was one of the stars sprinting in the Florida Cyrus Stakes Series last summer.
Yeah, and then he went in with the big boys, and obviously it didn't work. The Grade 1 Curlin Florida Derby, the Holy Bull. He wasn't disgraced in either race, by the way. And now Mike's going to cut him back to sprinting, and that's kind of where he made his hay early last year. And boy, Ronnie, I just find it a little hard to believe someone's wiring this field or this speed's going to last. There is so much of it. I know Gatsby, when he's good, he's really good. We didn't even pick Gatsby anywhere. That's the kind of race it is. King Cab is freakishly fast. Boy, doesn't it set up for Cajun's Magic?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought so. And returning in Jesus Rios riding for Mike Yates, and this is a gelding now. Of course, Jesus Rios handles this horse perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. He's done such a good job on this horse, and the cutback today with all the foundation while they're going ballistic up front. We might cut 45 out there up front. He's going to be sitting back licking his chops.
The number 8 Willie Boy, who won the 2021 Hutchinson Stakes and held his own against graded stakes competition last summer. Signally, he was back, I thought, with that rousing 32,000 optional claiming score at Tampa last time out. Perfect table setter for this. Jorge Delgado, go-to jock, Chantal Sutherland going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, and the benefit for Willie Boy, he ran a 3 last time, by the way, first time for the barn, and we know how good George is. The benefit here is he's outside the speed, so it's going to give Chantel some options. She doesn't have to mix it up. She can let it develop to her inside, and it certainly will, because Gatsby and King Cab aren't taking anything early from either one of them.
I want to show you a stat on Jorge Delgado. Winner last time out, sprints on the dirt. He's 8 for 31, 26%, 74% in the money. 130 is the return of investment. Everybody's hip to it, as they say. That's over the past year.
Yeah, $1.30. It is what it is, and I've said it, many times in this avenue. I'm a horizontal guy, so the ROI isn't really that. I'd rather see the high win percentage, and George Delgado does have a high wins percentage.
Yeah, you didn't use the King Cab in here, boy, and that's, I believe it's the morning line favorite in here. Who used his speed to win the 7 furlong sophomore against state-bred runners at Tampa. Stretches out. He's a proven commodity at 7 furlongs. Boy, not using Eddie Plesa Jr. always burns me. I don't know about you.
I don't disagree, but I didn't like that last race. It was really a step back. And listen, when King Cab is right, he is so good. But Gatsby is a legitimate, stakes horse. And he's going to have to look him in the eye every step of the way going 7 furlongs. And, maybe I'm a little hard-headed. I'm just throwing the speed out. And because I just don't see a path to victory for Gatsby and King Cab when they're going 44-4, looking each other in the eye for 5-6 furlongs.
Yeah, and Gatsby 2 starts back, gets a 103 by. I figure if this horse rekindles that, gets that thing going again, it's going to be awful dangerous in here. So we both see that maybe Cajun's Magic sitting an ideal trip in race number 11, the big drama, as I mentioned, 7 furlongs for those state-bred runners. Then we're going to wrap it up in race number 12, mile and a 16th on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $16,000, and did have a couple of scratches in here of the 5, 8, 13, and 16. Please note the 14, 15 are going to get in and run, and they have some shots in there. I actually added the 15 to my ticket. You added the 14.
Yep. They're players, definitely. Take a quick replay here on Swing Low, who we both have on top. I just thought he ran very, very well last time. Pace compromise, trying to be wide here. The winner is loose. Bella Future does not stop at 15-1. He's wide every step of the way. He still gets second. I thought it was a pretty strong effort, all things considered, Ron.
Yeah, I thought he ran well, too, and that's why I have him on top. And I only went too deep in my Rainbow Six because I was pretty convinced that he was going to run well in here for Ken Squeezy with Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. And there you see the horse is highlighted, the number 4. Does some really nice running in the latter stages of the race. So I think this horse is going to run exceptionally well. I think you have the number 9, Big Odd, who's the morning line favorite in second.
Yeah, I mean, the maiden special weight drop, the turf race 2 back really, fits with these.
And Legal Star, I split them. I thought ran well for Barry Croft, Evan Gonzalez, stretching out to the mile. Going to wear blinkers, just missing, going, second at 7.5. So maybe you get a little bit of a price there. So 4.39 and 4.93 for you. And then go back and look at that 14 and 15 in there.
Don't forget.
Especially the one, Monica McGoey, the 15. She's been on fire, that barn. So make sure you check that out. So that's how we see the 12 race con. Oh, but we're not done yet. We got a nice little lightning round.
Yeah, we tightened it up a little bit today with 12 here and 2 stakes. But tomorrow we're going to see little sister of Rombauer, the Preakness winner of last year from Michael McCarthy. Well, Safi debuted Republique earlier in the Royal Palm meet, I believe on April 14th. And she was good, winning first out, which is not the move for Safi. Here you see at 8-1. I think we all missed her that day. Now she's stretching out tomorrow. Boy, she's an exciting prospect.
Yeah, she closed very nicely. And then, of course, that's going to sprint. So as you mentioned, going to stretch out today. Boy, we got lots of action on the West Coast at our sister track center, Anita.
Yeah, all weekend long, of course, and they're going to run on Memorial Day. But they've got the Cal Cup today, 5 state-bred, Cal-bred stakes today. We're going to talk about them tomorrow as well because they've got the Grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup, and they're paying out their rainbow. We'll get to that tomorrow, but today, 5 stakes out there.
5 stakes out there, and there's just so much going on, and there's a couple of winning your ins over the weekend there to get into the, of course, get into the Breeders' Cup. And then, of course, you need PPs to do this, right?
And you can get them for free right here, XBTV or First Bet. We appreciate them for doing that. And, there's not a lot of things that are free, and here it is. So you want to dope out that $600,000 rainbow here, out at Santa Anita, Cal Cup, free PPs.
Well, we're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. We got 12 races he's got to tell you about. So good luck. We'll be back here for race number 1.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.